What's up guys, it's Demon Fighter, and it's been a while since I've reviewed another figure on this channel. So, to make up for that, I've got two figures to review for you all. We're going to have a look at the Figma Overwatch Widowmaker and Reaper. I've had both of these figures for about a month now, and the reason why I haven't reviewed these guys up until now is, well, you know, life's been busy. You know, with work and stuff. But, now I finally got some free time right now, I'm going to finally review these two. So, let's put Reaper aside for now, and we'll have a look at Widowmaker first. Alright, so looking at the accessories for Widowmaker, we got the two fist hands that come with her. We also got, like 2, 4, 6, 8 other hands here. We got two open hands, we got two gripping hands for her rifle, we got, let's see, we got a trigger hand, we got two finger pointing hand, and we also got two other gripping hands here. So pretty good. We also got two other faces here. We got the neutral face. Wait. Focus. There we go. We got the neutral face, and we got a winking face for her to look down the scope of her rifle. We got a venom mine. We got two different visor pieces. We got the open visor and the closed visor for her infrasight ultimate. We have an interchangeable arm piece that comes with her grappling hook. So that's pretty cool. And finally we have her Widow's Kiss rifle. And I think they did a pretty good job with this rifle. The paint job looks pretty good. Very nice detail all around. And we also got two interchangeable pieces for this. So what you're seeing right now is the gun in its sniper mode. But you take these two pieces off. It can be a bit stuck on there. And you put these two pieces on right here. Let me see here. Like so. And then you also got the gun in its, like, what would you call this? Like assault rifle mode or SMG mode? I don't even know, but yeah, it's basically in its full auto mode for close range combat. So it's pretty cool that Figma included these these accessory pieces for, you know, for her gun. So that's pretty cool. Kind of wish there was like a kind of effect piece for the barrel. You know, where she's like firing her gun. That would have been cool. But I think we got a pretty good amount of accessories here. Oh wait, hang on. I think I got it on the wrong way, I think. Oh, no, I had it on the right way. Sorry, sometimes I can't tell which way the scope is supposed to be facing. But there we go. So, pretty good amount of accessories here we got with Widowmaker. So, let's put all this aside and we'll have a look at the figure itself. Alright, so here is Widowmaker here, and I think Figma did a pretty good job with this figure. Not really much to complain about here in terms of the sculpt and paint job. I mean, the blue skin looks really nice, the shiny metallic purple on the suit looks really nice, the face sculpt looks pretty good, and they didn't really give her like the anime looking eyes, kind of like what they did with Tracer. Not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, but kind of glad they made her face more game accurate. The hair sculpt is very, very nice. You also got the spider tattoo on her back right there. That's pretty cool. You also got a tattoo right there on her arm. It's also nicely done. You have some line work on her leg here. Well, both of her legs. Looks really good. I mean, it all looks pretty neat, and they also did a good job of painting the venom mine right here in her arm, where she stores it. So that's pretty cool. All right, so for the articulation for Widowmaker, she can look up that much, and she can look down that much. But if you try to force her to look down even more, the face is just gonna pop right off. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. You can move her hair around. Like so. You got the hinge, and you can also rotate it around, so that's good. She can look left, right. You get some neck pivot, right? I mean, some head tilting right there. So some very good head movement for this figure. See, the arms can extend about this much, so that's pretty good. This shoulder piece here has a hinge, so you can move it around, so it doesn't hinder the articulation whatsoever. So I like that very much. You get full rotation. You get a rotation in the shoulder joint right there. You got the elbow joint that bends more than 90 degrees, so that's good. You get rotation at the wrist, and you also got the hinge. She has a diaphragm joint. Can't really crunch forward a whole lot, but she can lean back about that much, so that's good. You get some rotation. Sorry, excuse me. And you also got some pivot as well. Good range of movement. The hips can extend about that much. You can drop the legs down like that if you want to give her better range of movement, but I don't think it's really necessary to use that, because even without this, she can still move her legs pretty well. So she can kick forward about that much, kick back not a whole lot. You get rotation in that hip joint. You got the knee joint that bends about that much. Very good. Ankles can move up that much, can move down that much. No real rotation or anything. And you get a pretty good enough ankle pivot out of it. So this Widowmaker figure does have some pretty good articulation. You're going to get this figure to some pretty cool poses. So not really much to complain about this figure at all. I mean, there's one tiny minor nitpick I have, is that this feature, when you can just drop the legs like that, you don't really need that, because even when you don't have the legs drop down like that, you can still move the legs pretty well. Also, these two pieces here are made out of a soft material, so it's not going to really get in the way whatsoever. So that's pretty good that they do that. Alright, so let's move Widowmaker aside, and let's have a look at Reaper, or his accessories first, actually. Alright, so looking at the accessories for Reaper, we got the two fist hands. We got two hands which look like they're meant to hold something, but not really sure. Haven't quite figured that out. We got a hand here where he's giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We got two claw hands here. And we got two gripping hands for his Hellfire shotguns here. And the shotguns look pretty good, actually. Figma did a pretty good job with these weapons. Sculpted paintwork looks really nice. Very good detail all around. We got two effect pieces for the barrel of his shotguns. They look pretty cool, but the problem with these is that they kind of make the guns front heavy when Reaper's holding them. You'll probably see it in a picture at the end of this video. You'll see what I mean. But, you know, they kind of peg in to the barrels of these shotguns pretty nicely, so that's good. Still looks pretty cool. And finally, we have this effect piece here. What you do with this is that you basically have Reaper stand in this if you want him to pose him doing his Death Blossom ultimate. It's a pretty cool effect piece. It would have been cool if they also gave like some kind of purple black smoke effects to put on this, like to put around this. That would have been nice too, but this is still pretty cool. So we do have a pretty good amount of accessories with Reaper. So let's move all of this aside and we'll have a look at the figure itself. Alright, so here is Reaper, and I think Figma did a pretty good job with the sculpt and paintwork on this guy as well. I mean, there are a couple questionable things I'd like to mention, and those two things are the elbow joints. Kind of an odd design for his elbow joints, but I can understand why they designed it like this, you know, to get a better range of movement. So I'm okay with it. Not a big deal. But the rest of the figure looks pretty cool too. I mean, the mask looks pretty good. They did a pretty good job. Pretty game accurate. You get some sculpted wrinkles behind the hood here. And on the rest of his outfit, Looks pretty good. You got some shiny silver pieces here on his back. Pretty good. You got some shotgun shells on his chest and even right here on his belt. Very nice. You got some spikes on this gauntlet and some spikes on his hand here. They look pretty nice. The arms. When I first saw this figure, I was thinking, like, was his arms really this white? Like this pale white? Until I was playing Overwatch one day, and then I looked at his arms, and yeah, his arms are pretty much like that. So I never really noticed that. Let's see, the torso, nice sculpted detail there. Very good. Legs look pretty good. Let's see, you got the shins here and the feet. Nice and silver, very good. So yeah, very nice job on Figma on the sculpt and paint work. Now, let's get to the articulation, which is probably the main issue that people have been having with this figure, which I can understand. One part of the articulation is this. Now, you can remove the hood if you want to, though I wouldn't recommend it because the head looks way too small. I don't understand why his head is so small, and the neck joint is so oddly designed. I don't know why they did this. They could have chose a better design for his neck joint. But for the head, you can pretty much rotate it around, have it look up and look down without using this weird neck joint. And all you're going to do with this neck joint is have it move back and forth. Kind of an odd choice, so I recommend not posing this figure without its hood. It's going to look super weird. Alright, so for the shoulders, you can extend it out that much, so that's good. You get full rotation like that. You get rotation right there up the sleeve. Elbow joint can bend about that much. About around 90 degrees or a little bit more than that, so that's good. You can also rotate these gauntlets as well, so that's nice. You got the wrist joint rotation right there, and you also got the hinge. Like so. Alright, so diaphragm joint. You can crunch forward that much, lean back that much, you pivot about that much, and you get some rotation, so that's good. He does have a waist joint, but it's very, very limited. You can only move it about that much. You're not going to get a whole lot of movement out of it. Alright, so another part of the articulation that people have a problem with is this. The hip joints can only extend about that much. And you can only kick forward that much, kick back that much. You also get thigh rotation right there at the hip joint. You got the knee joint right there, bends about that much. You can also move these knee pads if you want to. Though they are a bit loose though on my figure. Let me see. Not so much on this leg though, but this one, yeah, it's kind of loose. Alright, so ankles can move up that much, move down that much. Don't really get any rotation, and you get a little bit of ankle pivot, but you know, it's limited due to the design of it. And you got a toe joint, which isn't really all that useful, but you know, what can you do? Oh, and of course, these pieces of his robe are posable. So far I've only been able to move it like that. That's pretty much all you can do with that. So the articulation on this figure is half good and half bad, especially for the legs. But you know what, for this character I'm okay with it because you don't really see Reaper doing any crazy flips and tricks and everything. And besides, I'm still able to get this figure into some pretty good poses despite the limited movability of his legs. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, let's get to height measurements and then size comparisons. Alright, so measuring the height of these two, Widowmaker stands just about 6 inches tall to the top of her head. And then for Reaper, he stands, let's see here, just over 6 inches tall to the top of his head. And I think these two scale together pretty well. I mean, could Reaper be a little bit taller next to Widowmaker? Yeah, sure, but the main thing is that he's taller than her. I mean, it may be only a little bit, but, you know, he's still taller than her, so I'm okay with it. And for size comparisons, here's Reaper and Widowmaker next to their Funko Pop counterparts. And here's Reaper and Widowmaker next to Tracer and Genji, and I think all four of these figures scale together pretty well. And finally, to compare these two next to a couple figures from other toy lines, we had the SH Figuarts Saiyan Raised on Earth Son Goku and the Marvel Legends Homecoming movie Spider-Man. So overall, these are both really nice figures to have in any Overwatch collection. I mean, they have good sculpt, good paint work. I mean, between the two, Widowmaker definitely has the better articulation, but, you know, for what Reaper has, you can make it work in some ways. But I think as of right now, I think the best Overwatch figure Figma has made right now out of the four, easily Widowmaker. I mean, she's probably the most fun to pose. I really like her accessories. The sculpt and paint job just looks great. It's just a really nice figure overall. Sorry, Reaper, you're still my main. And I'm really looking forward to the other figures coming out in the future. Like, I know later this year we're getting Diva and Zenyatta, and then next year we're getting Pharah and Mercy. I'm hoping they make other characters like Hanzo, and maybe Reinhardt, and maybe Mei also. And who knows, maybe they might make a mecha for the Diva figure. I guess we'll never know until they actually reveal it. So, overall, I like these two figures, and I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. So, if you have any thoughts on these two figures, please leave them in the comments below. And I'm happy if you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, feel free to subscribe, and click that notification bell so you know when I upload. Stay tuned for pictures at the end of this video. Until then, have a nice day, everybody.